to the God is a Geek podcast, your new favourite podcast about video games, Jane coming back and calling Ian Beale Adam, Birdman flying at the Oscars, and Mayweather and Pacquiao signing on the dotted line and making the dream fight a reality. I am your host, Colm Ahern, and with me this week is my personal aphrodisiac, it's Calvin Robinson.
Hello, good sir.
Calvin, how are you?
Mate, I'm good. Did Jane actually come back and call him Adam?
She actually... We'll discuss it in 2 seconds.
Okay.
We'll discuss it in 2 seconds. Because with us is, of course, the man of the hour. Too sweet to be sour. What you see is what you get, and what you don't is better yet. He's the women's pick, the men's regret, and if you gamble against him, you made a bad bet. No, it's Nails. It's Dan. Nail her!
Oh, they get better every week. Hello, lads. How you doing?
Right. So, what happened was, the EastEnders, they were doing their third... Was it...
They had a live week, didn't they?
Yeah, was it 30 years?
Yes,
No,
it
it must
was,
be more
because
than
EastEnders is the same age as me. I'm 30 this year. 1985 it started.
And yeah, they did the live week, and...
I mean, 25 years old it is.
Jane came back. Well, I don't know her real name, but the character, Jane, came back, and she was talking to the other one. No, fuck it, I fucked up my intro. Because Jane is... It was the other one, Max's ex. What's Max's ex called? I don't know, but
Tanya.
Max...
Tanya came back, did she?
Yeah, she came back.
I used to love Tanya.
And she was speaking with Jane, and they were just chatting away, and she said, so how's Adam? And you should look up the clip, because it's just brilliant.
Her reaction afterwards is so good.
Have you seen it?
Yeah. I saw. Yeah, she like realizes what she's done. The camera cuts to the person she's talking to, and then back to her face, and she just looks like oh shit, what have I done? I had one job.
Because all you hear in the background then is just some sort of loud bang, and I don't know. Someone comes into the shot. Then I think it's just to deviate away from what's going on, because there was
it.
I don't think there's even a character on EastEnders called Adam. So there was, she couldn't even cover it.
She could have improv. She'd be like, I mean, Ian, like that happens in real life, man.
I know, but it's just the fact of it's like it's his real name.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
That's
one thing I did want to bring up was last night the Brit Awards were on.
Oh my god.
Like going back quite a number of years now, I suppose, but I remember the Brit Awards being a real big event. It was kind of, you'd watch it on the Wednesday night or whatever, going to school on the Thursday, and people would generally be actually discussing it. It was an exciting event.
That happened very much this year.
The only exciting thing that happened last night, as far as I know, I didn't watch it, but Madonna fell on her arse. I
also didn't watch it, but it's been the conversation of the playground today, I can tell you that.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, do tell. So is it as popular now?
Well, yeah, everyone's talking about that incident. We watched it in form time. Like, so Madonna's on the stage. Don't know why she didn't have Velcro, but she's got this massive cape on with. Have you seen the clip?
Yeah.
With laces at the front. You can see her trying to undo the laces, and then the dancers yank the cloak, not knowing it's still attached to Madonna. She goes flying down the stairs. It's hilarious.
How many people were fired? I'd love to know that.
I know.
I'd imagine like someone like Madonna is.
Well, you heard about like what she wanted in her dressing room, didn't you? Like she wanted scented candles in there like 24 hours before she got there and stuff like this. She's a faddy performer, so someone's going to get fired for that.
It's like it can't be great for her age to be. It's a decent fall.
It was a big fall for someone of her age, yeah.
I know.
Like she's nice. She's okay. I don't want to offend our older listeners. Like Madonna is. She's not. All right. She's probably not being signed into some fucking retirement home, but at the same time, she's not one of these young Ariana Grandes or anything like that. Because it's a nasty old fall, in fairness to her. Yeah, I was a bit upset. No, I wasn't. I'm only messing. I don't like Madonna. But one thing that I do like is The Order. No, I finished The Order about 15 minutes before this podcast because I was determined to actually get through the thing before giving you my entire thoughts on the game itself. And we had Adam on last week and he spoke about how it does very much give you the impression that there will be an Order 1887 or the Order 2, or whatever they're going to call it. And yeah, it does. But the ending is pretty satisfactory. Like, it's like I say, I did enjoy it. I think it's gotten a lot of flack over, like, in the past week since reviews have come out. Some of it kind of unwarranted. But, like, it's short, all right? We'll get that out of the way straight away. It is short. I finished it in about, I want to say, 6-ish hours, thereabouts. However, if this game was 10 hours, 11 hours, 12 hours, it would feel too long, to be honest. I don't think it's a game that actually warrants that type of duration. But at the same time, there are parts where they do even stretch out what's there as it is, because there's an awful lot of walking in this game. They do kind of mix the gameplay between action, shooting scenes and all that, and then you'll have a sequence where you're kind of doing the Marcus Phoenix, just walking speed. And maybe if you click in the left analog stick, you can go into a bit of a light jog, but they slow it down to a very uncomfortable pace. And there'll be a couple of, like, you'll be in a room where you know you're not under threat. There'll be a couple of items scattered around that you can interact with and have a look at. And yeah, it's just really kind of sluggish. And as I say, I think they could have actually possibly shortened it even a little bit more, but at the same time, it's enjoyable. You know, it's not a world beater, and it's forgettable in parts. It's just kind of enjoyable popcorn type of fun. I do actually have a lot of hope for an Order sequel. I think the two best things about this game are the looks, which everyone knows. It's such a sexy game. Like, this is a game that you put on for your mates and you go, like, look at this. This is the next generation a year and a half after the fucking consoles come out. It's like, this is the game that you can say, oh, this is the reason why I got a PlayStation 4 for graphics like this. It really is an astounding achievement in that regard. But the other thing is also the world that they've created. It's a really, really cool kind of alternative history type of look at Knights of the Round Table, that type of era of London and England across the board. It's really, really cool. And they play with kind of paranormal is the wrong word, is it? Kind of supernatural kind of elements, which I actually wish they did a little bit more, because the guns, for instance, there's two guns in the game that are I suppose, what would I like? Kind of Ratchet and Clanky in that they're just, you know, completely off the wall. Like, there's one which shoots lightning, which is very unwieldy, and whenever you pick it up, you have to get rid of it because it's just bad to play with. But then there's another one, I think it's like the thermite gun, where first you shoot a kind of a cloud of gas, and then you shoot again, and it'll ignite that cloud of gas, which is actually kind of quite cool. But yeah, then the rest of them are just your generic kind of automatic rifles or the sniper or stuff like that. And I think it's actually something that they could have fleshed out a little bit more. And across the board, that's what the game generally feels like. It's enjoyable, but it's kind of an idea. It's very much like Assassin's Creed 1, actually, in that Assassin's Creed 1 was the building blocks for 2, which greatly improved it, and then Brotherhood, which is fucking fantastic. And then it can be debated whether the series went up or down then after that. Well, straight away it went down with Revelations. What a bad game. But there's a lot of ideas here for the Order that I think for the future, it could actually turn out to be a series that Sony will, I don't want to say hang their hat on, but it'll be one of their kind of staple series that maybe people could look to and go, it'll be up there with the Uncharted and the whatnot. Because I want to see more Orders, for lack of a better term. Like, as in, I don't want Microsoft and
Order
Sony
1999.
Yeah, but I don't want Microsoft and Sony to just rely on fucking Gears, Halo, Uncharted. Like, I want new, like, story-based, third-person, first-person, whatever, action games, rather than just sticking to the ones that worked in the 360 and the PS3 era. And it is a shame that, like, I'm not even too sure what the order is sitting on Metacritic. I'd hazard a guess that it's kind of early 60s maybe, which I probably tend to agree with, but it's, I like, you see so many studios that do sequels are determined on Metacritic's getting fucking 90 and up.
Yeah.
And whether there will be a sequel or not, I don't know. Like, neither of you have played The Order yet, have you?
I've played a little bit at a press event, about 20 minutes. I can't say I was massively blown away because it was a very shooter-heavy section. There was no story.
Right.
And obviously that seems to be what drives it and makes people want to finish it over the shooting, which was competent but nothing special. But I did talk to the the developers and stuff, and they do have plans for a sequel. They've got other ideas beyond the story that they want to make happen. So, I mean, it's interesting that you want to see a sequel.
Yeah, I do. I think that there are more stories to be told within this universe itself. Like, things that they kind of just briefly touch upon and then might kind of put to the back end again. And it's like, well, what about this? This particular thing could be fleshed out. And like, one thing I do want to say actually is that as well as the story, which is very enjoyable, the voice acting as well is really, really good. There's not necessarily one particular person that stands out. Like, I think Galahad is good, but like across the board, it's more of just a good ensemble cast. Like, there's the Lord Chancellor, the people who played it know who I'm talking about. He's really good, actually. But I think there is more to be done with here in The Order. But, Calv, the question is there more to be done with for Saints Row, or is Get Out of Hell the nail in that coffin?
I don't know. I really don't know. Get Out of Hell is weird. Like, it was over before it started. So weird. I've still got, like, side quests and stuff, I think. But the main storyline was so short. I don't know what they can do next. And I like what I said previously. If they do a prequel, yeah, that'd be fantastic. But other than that, I don't know what they can do. But I do want to see some more Saints Row, so they've got to do something.
What's your overall impression of the game? Because I think the last time you were talking about it, you kind of just started it.
Yeah, I put a few more hours into it since then, but that was a couple of weeks ago now. I was ready to talk about it last week, but obviously I couldn't make that podcast, and since then I've forgotten most of it. But I do remember having fun and enjoying it, even though you guys all hated on it quite a bit.
Hated on is a little bit strong. Like,
you and Adam were talking about it on the video, saying how it's a bit disappointing. Not hating on it, but saying it's a bit disappointing. I did find it fun, and I had just finished Saints Row 4 as well, so I was in the mood for some more Saints Row. But I don't know. I want more. Still, I want something more filling. That was like a starter. That was an appetizer. I want a main course now.
But the way that they go about the main story missions, like, you have to admit that's pretty shit. They're just side quests. There's nothing. Yeah,
but it just felt like an add-on for Saints Row 4, really, like, rather than a separate game. So it didn't feel out of place.
But it felt like more side quests for Saints Row 4 rather than a new story. In a way, I felt. I thought, with the characters and the location stuff, there was so much potential for that game to be absolutely fantastic and have loads of comedy. And there's only one bit that I can still remember. You probably both know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely find it disappointing. I'd agree with Colm.
Well, I had fun, so I wouldn't class it disappointing. But I know what you mean. It could have been better. It could have been more.
But it doesn't deter you from the series.
No,
basically.
Definitely not. Give me more Saints Row.
Now, Niels, did you have much history with Homeworld before playing Homeworld Remastered Collection? Did you play the originals?
I played the second one back in 2003, 4, something like that. Yeah.
Because I basically know nothing about Homeworld.
You know nothing. Right, so it's...
just like Jon Snow.
Just like Jon Snow. No, why am I talking about him? Homeworld. It's a space RTS. The two of the best RTS games ever made. I mean, have you played them, Calvin? at all?
I'm trying to think. The name rings a bell, but I honestly can't remember.
Oh, okay. So there's space RTSs, and you start with one ship, the mothership, and from there you build a fleet and kill everyone else. It's your standard RTS kind of stuff. But it had it plays in 3 dimensions as space should be, not on a 2D plane. So but the way they got around that with controls and stuff was really nifty. Adjusting height and things, it's just really simple. And your AI are pretty clever, like your own ship. So they'll change the height depending on what they need to do, but they'll attack sensible targets as well. Because sometimes a lot of RTS games, they'll just attack whatever they pass. So you'll get like a foot soldier attacking a tank, and it's like, well, you're not actually gonna do any good there.
Yeah.
But for the remaster, they've made it look so damn pretty. I mean, you must have seen some of the videos that have
I did,
gone out
yeah.
for
I
it.
saw kind of the footage of it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when they came out originally, they were pretty good for the time, but now they're just gorgeous. And it's
so what? So the second one you played in 2003, was it?
Yeah, so we're talking kind of 10, 15 years ago. These games, they originally came out. Yeah, but the core gameplay still holds up fantastically. It's just as good as anything that comes out today. But then on top of that, they've made all the graphics and things shiny, which are pretty nice. For the stories for both of them, while they're kind of similar, basically you get left with this ship for some reason, and then you have to kind of, in one of them, find your way home. The other one, save your planet by going on a circuitous route. But it's just really cool. But they've remastered like all the animatics in between and stuff, quite drastically as well. I saw some comparisons between them. So it's just a neat little collection, and it's it's just absolutely cracking fun to play.
Like, would this give you hope for a Homeworld 3, or is this just to appease fans?
When Gearbox bought the IP, there was some of the guys who made the originals were working on something called Hardware Shipbreakers.
Okay.
And basically, as soon as Gearbox got the IP, they got in contact with these guys and went, "Do you want to make your game into a Homeworld game?" And most of them were sat around kind of going, "Oh, well, we don't know if we can or not." But apparently the head producer, I can't remember his name right now, he basically kind of just piped up at the back, just, "Guys, actually we can do this," because from the start he'd been making sure everything they were putting into this other game, which was for all intents and purposes a different IP, fitted in with the Homeworld universe if it needed to. So that's kind of going to be the third game for now, I think. It's a prequel, and I don't know too much about it. But I mean, I think they want to make a third one.
Like, is the story actually a big component of Homeworld? Like you mentioned how the first one you're going home, and the second one you're saving your home planet. Like, is it actually fleshed out, or is it just a bit of text there and that's it?
No, it's properly fleshed out. Like, the missions make sense to it. So there's one mission where it's the second or third in the first game's campaign, and you've come back to your place where you set off, and you find everything destroyed, and there's some cryo tubes, which that's all that's left of your people kind of floating in space, and you need to collect them. And there's a little bit of combat at the start, but then when you've defeated these couple of ships, you just collect these tubes for about 10, 15 minutes while some really somber music plays, and it's really atmospheric, and it's like, crap, like all those people were dead. And when you lose one as well, that's 100,000 people dead. That's
does it have that kind of XCOM kind of feeling to it?
Not quite. You don't get quite as emotional, but the chatter from between your ships and the command and stuff, it's all really well done, the voice acting, and they get more emotional at suitable times and panic, if they're under attack and things like this.
I like that. Yeah, because similar to that's a tactic that was used in Spec Ops: The Line as well, which I felt worked very well.
Yeah, no, I think it's a fantastic way of doing it, and it means each ship and things is you start to care about it a little bit, particularly in the campaign as you take your fleet from one battle to the next. So yeah, no, it's really good. I'd recommend it if you're into RTSs.
Calv, I think that's your cue to buy Homeworld Remastered Collection.
I don't mind RTSs, but I'm not like a major RTS guy. Then again, I have been playing a kind of RTS quite a lot recently.
All right, yeah, I'm intrigued, Calv. Do tell.
God.
Dish.
Help me. I don't even know who Calvin Robinson is anymore.
Yeah, what, like, so... I will never ever let you forget this, Calv. So many times, mobile games are shit. Oh, why would you play games on your phone?
They're not proper games. Oh my gosh.
So, tell everyone, tell the group, what have you been playing?
I don't want to. I've been playing a game called Clash of Clans.
Why?
Because it's got the best TV advert that I've ever seen.
Right, was that the Liam Neeson one? With the Clash of Clans, did they use Liam Neeson for an ad over the Super Bowl or something?
No, there was one with him in it, I think, yeah. But the one I'm referring to is where there's a skeleton edging towards a big purple ball of elixir, and there's a witch saying, "Don't you go near that," and he nudges towards it. She's like, "Don't you do it," and he nudges towards it some more, and then she turns her back and he slashes it, and purple elixir goes up for her.
This made you get the game?
It's a really cool advert. No, it didn't. It didn't make me get the game at all, but the advert is funny.
Right, okay.
Everyone around me has been playing this game. I'm like, I don't like to jump on hype trains or anything like that. And it just annoys me when I see everyone playing the same game. But I'm like, what is it you're playing? What are you doing? Let me have a look. And then that was it. That was the end of it. That was the end of my life.
Explain the allure of it, because I've never played it.
It's one of those games where you have a base. You're always building towards something. So you've got cash and you've got elixir, and you need to build up your cash and your elixir to purchase upgrades for your base. So you might have you've got defenses.
Basically, you could say it's all about that base.
You could definitely say it's all about the base.
Took a while, but okay, yeah, go on.
And yeah, so you're always trying to upgrade to the next level. You have to battle against other players. You don't do it live. It's asynchronous. So you go to their base, you battle against their offline base, and if you win, you take some of their goodies. If you lose, they take some of your points. You get trophy points as well. And yeah, it's one of those games where you have to sink time or cash into it. So as long as you're patient, you can play for free for as long as you want.
I was going to say that there's obviously, I'm trying, what do they call it? They have a name for them, but those meters, as in like, come back in 3 hours to play again.
Yeah, there's meters everywhere. Everything has meters. Because you're limited on the number of builders you have. So when your builder is busy building something, it might take him 12 hours, it might take him 24 hours to build this thing, and you can't build anything else until he's finished. So what you can do is you can purchase more builders, but there's still a limit on builders. So what you can also do is, while that builder's building, you can use gems to end the task immediately. But gems cost real money.
Yeah, and is there a way of accruing gems by actually just playing the game? Yes,
you get gems for achievements. Obviously, achievements are rarer than any other thing else in the game, but they're just like normal achievements, as in like an Xbox Live or something like that. So you after like killing 10 different bases, you might get an achievement point, and then after gaining so much gold, you'll get an achievement, things like that.
I'm just amazed that the Calvin Robinson is...
you know what's good about it?
How much time have you sunk into this?
It's not actually even a lot of time. It's just, in the morning, I'll set some things on, then I'll forget about the game, I'll go to work, whatever. When I get back from work, I'll check what's been happening, play it for a bit, and then before I go to bed, I'll set some things happening. So it's just like every now and then, every few hours, I just do a quick task, and then the game just carries on without you. That's the best thing about it. It just carries on without you.
So you haven't been pulled into the trap that much yet. Like, you haven't been kind of going, I can't wait, I'm gonna have to drop a $5 in this, or a $10 or whatever.
I have paid for some stuff. I've paid for
and so it begins.
I only paid for a specific amount of things, because you can have there's a limit of 5 builders. You can never have more than 5 builders, but you start with only 2. So I just paid for enough so that I could have the maximum amount of builders, and then everything else I just wait it out. But at least I can have 5 things going on at once rather than just 2. I won't pay to get things done faster. But
and how much were these extra builders?
They're quite expensive, to be honest.
How expensive, Calvin?
They don't have
How much did you pay?
No, they don't have a set cost. Well, they do, but they're like the first couple are like 500 gems, then the next couple are like a grand gems. And gems
You're
are
avoiding the question, Calvin. How much money have you put into Clash of Clans?
I bought 15 quid's worth of gems because
right.
I figured like if I was to buy an RTS game like this, I'd be happy to pay 15 quid for it.
And how many gems have you got left?
I actually spent all of the gems, but I bought everything that I wanted to. I didn't want the gems just to say, okay, I'll finish that task now. I would feel that that's a waste of a waste of money. But because I bought assets, I bought the builders. Now I'm happy because I have them, and I will always have them. And that's, I can't waste those builders. They are my assets in the game.
So do you see yourself putting any more cash into this?
No, I wouldn't put cash into this just to play the
because
game.
you have the 5 builders now, and you're happy enough to leave it at that.
Yeah.
What is the only other thing that you can purchase for real money then? The kind of this basically speeding up time. Yes, is that the only other kind of perk?
Yep.
And so I'm just going to ask
you can buy extra gold and elixir as well. So it's a gold and elixir. You need them to upgrade your town hall and your archers and your cannons and all that kind of stuff. So you can buy the gold and buy the elixir, but that's kind of, to me, that defeats the purpose of playing the game, because you battle with other people and you take their cash, and that's how you get it. So if you just
to ask you one more time, are you enjoying Clash of Clans?
Yeah, I do enjoy it. It's fun.
All right,
but
okay.
This is kind of like, this is how I play MMOs quite often as well. Like I still jump on Star Trek Online. I'll go on the game for like 45 minutes a week or something like that. Just set some tasks in motion, finish tasks that I left in motion previously, and then I'm logged out and I know that the game's playing for me. It's one of those like a long-term investment game kind of thing, really, if that makes any sense.
Like if the Calvin Robinson of a couple of years ago could speak to the Calvin Robinson now, he'd probably murder him. Just like Ronan O'Connor in the video game murdered Sole Suspect. Now, I spoke about this a little bit last week, but I actually finished it in the past 7 days as well. So very, very briefly, murdered Sole Suspect, very enjoyable. There will never ever be a sequel, because fuck all people bought it. I bought it when I saw on the site, I don't know, was it you, Dan, actually, who put up a post about it being like $2.50 on the Square Enix store. Bargain. So I was like, fuck it, yeah, because I had been waiting a long time to actually, I really wanted to play it, because there was something kind of intriguing about it, and yeah, so I got it, and again, similar to The Order, I suppose, it's many things, it's short, it's about, I think it took me 6 hours to go through the story, and also the world is fucking really cool because it's set in Salem, and you have that whole mix of the Salem witch trials and that kind of spookiness. And I mean, I said it on Twitter, and I'll say it again. It's probably a better LA Noire. Fucking take that, LA Noire. It's just
wow.
I don't know. It's just so enjoyable. The story is quite good. It kept me kind of ticking along, and yeah, the kind of Salem witch trials thing kind of again, that was kind of intriguing. The ending is a bit shit. All right, yeah, the ending is a bit kind of, it's like when, do you remember being in school and your English teacher would give you an essay or something to write when you go home, and she'd give you the first 2 sentences. It'd be like, when I walked through the creaky door, and I saw what was before me, I couldn't believe it because it was and then it's like, right, okay, go home and write that essay. And what I would do normally when I would get that task from my teacher, I'd set out to write a novel. This thing was going to be fucking incredible, and I start writing, and I'd have a couple of pages, and then I'd be getting a bit tired, and I'd be like, Then I woke up and it was all a dream, and that was the end. That's just, it's like, yeah, just wrap up the story, or there was a bomb, everyone blew up, fuck, whatever. The story, I don't have time.
So lazy.
I don't have time to put it, because it would, the story wouldn't have a beginning, a middle, and an end. It would have this illustrious beginning, fleshing out the lore of this 2-page essay that I was given, but I was after going into my 6th page of, I suppose, building the characters, and then it would just be like, fuck it. woke up and it was all a dream. Murdered Soul Suspect has that's not giving away the ending of Murdered Soul Suspect, because that's not what happens, but it's kind of a similar kind of this happened and then it wrapped up all kind of nice. But for $2.50, fucking really, really enjoyable. Short. Another game which I spoke about last week, so I'm not going to go on about it too much, because I have a feeling I will actually be kind of similar to what you're doing with Clash of Clans and what you mentioned, Calv, about kind of MMOs, just popping in and out. Evolve. I've been playing this, and I've decided, I think I actually said that the monster class was alright last week. I played a bit more of the monster class. Yeah. I don't like the monster class at all.
Mate, that's the only class I do like. What don't you like about it?
I think that, the buttons are mapped in a very strange way. It's like I think we spoke about this last week, but like the flamethrower ability is like the X button, and you have to take your thumb off of the right analog stick, so your aiming gets kind of fucked up. I just find, I don't know. It's just there's something that I don't particularly like about being the monster, but I suppose, to like in a different regard, when you're playing as one of the classes, if your team aren't, like, I don't think they have to be people you know, but if they are people who know what they're doing, if someone is the support class and they're playing support, or if someone is the medic and they're playing the medic, great. But if everyone's just trying to be the assault class, it just fucking descends into absolute chaos.
Yep.
Like, so you've been playing Evolve as well, Calv, yeah?
Yeah, I've played it a little bit. I agree totally. I just don't find it fun, to be honest, because no one I play with ever knows what they're doing or plays their class properly.
Yeah, and when that happens,
it's just not fun.
It's just not fun. Like, so do you mainly play as the monster when when you do play?
If I'm playing on my own, I'll play as the monster because it's a solo class, and it's the only solo class in the game.
Well, have you not come across like instances of just playing with randomers and everyone is actually clued into what they're doing?
Nope.
Right, okay. Maybe I've been lucky then, because, and I think as the months roll on, I suppose like any multiplayer game really, people, like, only the diehards are going to stick with it. So it will actually become a case where those who do love playing support or medic or the trapper or whatnot, because I've actually found myself really kind of settling into that support role. I really enjoy it. It's kind of cool to like sit back a little bit and be shielding your teammates, stuff like that. Yeah, I think it's when played well as a team game, it's quite good. Similar to IDARB, Calv.
Yes, mate. I watched a video about IDARB. It was funny, so I thought, let me download this game. And
because it is free currently, isn't it? Yeah, it was February's Games of Gold. Yeah. Games
for Gold's getting decent, but IDARB is really, really fun. I was playing with a couple of friends, and there's three of us in the room. Two of us were playing, and one of us was on Twitter. I love the Twitter interactions. Like, we found a list of commands you could tweet, and you don't know what they're going to do. It's all random. It just makes the game, adds another layer to it.
It does, because it just completely, it just, like, whoever is like putting in those commands, it can completely just mess up everything. And I suppose it can become more entertaining because of that, but at times it can become a little bit annoying. I don't know if you felt the same.
No, I loved it, because while it was me versus a friend, we knew something was coming up, but then me and my friend teamed up and went online against some randoms, and we kept getting our other friend to tweet things when we wanted them to, so it was kind of helping us out. It was really fun.
Sorry, what do the tweets do here? I don't know this.
They can affect the world in lots of different ways. For example, flood will bring water up from the bottom of the map, and it will take over the map with water. You're swimming instead of jumping around. Or they can be bombs, or all kinds of stuff, isn't it, Colm?
Yeah, like, basically, like, are you aware of what IDARB is?
Yeah,
Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like it's your kind of team game, 2 goals, and if I think in the game they're called hash bombs, and if someone just enters in a command like they're not all, like, some of them are like, one of them I think is hashtag Rick, and you'll just get like Rick Astley kind of going across the bottom of the screen. which was terribly funny in 2000 and 2008.
Yeah.
And like there are certain things like that which won't mess everything up, but then there's one, it's like, I can't remember, it's like hashtag small or something, which will like shrink the screen to like a tiny size, or hashtag zoom, which will bring the screen really close into the action. There's like hashtag fungus or something, which will have like little green dots around. So it kind of messes with the map, basically.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's effectively just to kind of have a bit of a laugh, and that's what IDARB is, really.
It's like you guys said in the video, like if you're twitching this, that would be amazing to have like your live audience interacting with the game in that way.
Yeah, oh yeah, without a doubt. The only thing is, have you played much of the single player mode?
There's a single player mode.
There is a single player mode, and like I know this is like it's basically a multiplayer game first and foremost, and the single player is just a little something on the side. And yeah, it's not great. Like the one thing I found about IDARB was that when it was 2-on-2, it was really good fun. But I think anything above that, and it just became a little bit too messy. And that was like some of my complaints about the hash bombs.
Oh,
like,
yeah. And it can get laggy as hell online as well.
Yeah. Like, again, it's good fun, you know, like for a while. And it is free on Xbox One. So, like, I mean, if for nothing else, I suppose it's worth checking out for that reason alone. Now, why anyone would want to check out a Dynasty Warriors game is kind of beyond me. Nails, this is a series which is the subject of much derision from people. But at the same time, the lovers adore Dynasty Warriors. Where do you sit in that camp?
I am... Well, I'm probably the only person. I'm in the middle.
Okay.
I've played
Can't
a few
be in the
of them
middle
now.
with Marmite, I'm sorry.
I've played a few of them, and yeah, most of them are kind of the same. Gameplay is largely just tapping square over and over again until everything on the screen is dead.
Like, I'm actually quite surprised this is only the 8th Dynasty Warriors. I thought there was like way more.
Well, every version gets like a Extreme and an Empires and a Remake and a... So Empires is actually a different series than Dynasty Warriors 8. The different games. Okay. So the Empires ones are a bit more strategic. So the only one I can think of is like Dawn of War or like Civilization, actually. And you have that kind of open world... you got that overworld map. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see like different coloured territories belonging to different people. Well, in this, there isn't a single player campaign. There's just one of those maps, and you belong to one of the territories, and you can, the idea is to conquer the entire map in kind of like a RTS style overlay. But when you go into a battle, it's standard Dynasty Warriors battling and stuff. There's a lot more to it than that. There's like loads of politics, and you rise through the ranks of one kingdom, or you can go off on your own and be a mercenary for hire. So it's all pretty cool. And when it works, when you understand how it works, it's fantastic. But largely, it's like knowing there's a party in the room next door, except there's no door to the room next door. It's just a wall, walls everywhere, and the only way you can get in is by repeatedly hitting the wall with your face.
Okay.
It's the tutorials just aren't that good at all. So you don't know what you're doing. If you haven't played an Empires game before, you're not going to get this.
Really?
Yeah. Well. You will eventually, but you'll have put a considerable number of hours into it before that point.
I played a Dynasty Warriors game on the PSP. I don't know if it was 5 or something like that. I just did not understand. Like Colm said, you're just tapping square constantly. Like these hordes of enemies, and you just... I don't get the point of it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. There are combos and stuff you can learn that when you do it and you get better weapons and things, it does change up the game quite a lot, but you need to invest a lot of time to get that out of it. And if you just don't enjoy running around a battlefield, murdering thousands of people, you're not going to get anything out of this at all. But if you're a Dynasty Warriors fan and, or you've been in the past and been put off because the series is a little bit too stale, this does mix up kind of nicely. You just need to put the work in to get the most out of it.
Like, how many... Have you much history with Dynasty? Like, is it the Dynasty Warriors series or the Empire series that you mainly kind of gravitate towards?
Well, I've played... I had one on the PSP and... No, maybe Vita. Oh, I don't know. I got one free with PS Plus and I've played that. And I've played Warriors Oriachi 3. I think I'm missing a word out of that as well, which takes all the different series characters and puts them in one game. So it's like the same combat and stuff. And then I played Bladestorm as well, which was like a 100 Years War setting version of the same type of game. I've not actually played any of the other Dynasty Warriors games solidly myself, but like I knew how the combat worked and stuff.
Yeah. So this is like, but I suppose, yeah, fans of Dynasty Warriors will enjoy Empires because, like, it adds enough, basically. Yeah, it adds enough. It adds enough beyond like just the basic story mode to be kind of interesting. I mean, bottom line is, if you don't like Dynasty Warriors, you're not going to like this at all. It's not. It's not one to draw new fans, which is a shame because it could have been with its extra kind of features and stuff, but it's just too difficult to get into. Which brings us to our talking point of the week when we talk about kind of trying to bring new fans into a particular medium. Because over the past week, Lionsgate have gotten into bed with Telltale Games. They've put in a significant investment, I'm told. Now, if you're familiar with Lionsgate, it's probably because they've basically been the production company that have, I suppose, they've done Mad Men, Orange is the New Black. They've done a lot of horror films as well, like the Saw franchise. Like, they're a pretty big name in terms of like television.
They are a big name,
and film. And yeah, so like when this was first announced, I wasn't entirely sure as to what exactly was going on here. Like, what are they just trying to kind of get into the video game space? But yeah, there was an interview then with Telltale CEO and co-founder Kevin Brunner on Entertainment Weekly, and he explained this idea of what he's calling a super show. And what he said was, a super show episode combines one part of interactive playable content with one part of scripted television style content. Both pieces, when combined together, are what make an actual super show episode. As we've been developing the series, we're using both mediums in concert to deliver our story. Developing both aspects simultaneously is key to utilizing this new medium. Blah, blah, blah. Like, effectively, they're trying to marry video games and television.
Wow, no one's ever thought of that before.
No, we've seen this done only kind of within the past couple of years. But Calv, I'll put it to you first. This new invention, this creation of TV and games and transmedia and blah, blah, blah. Do you think that it can ever work?
Oh, absolutely. And I can't wait until it does. I'm just kind of waiting with bated breath because Telltale have been doing Walking Dead and Game of Thrones shows,
Wolf Among Us as well, yeah.
But I mean, like, no, they've been doing like TV show games anyway.
Oh, okay, sorry, yeah.
So I don't know how they're going to do them differently unless it's at the same time as the TV show is airing, which couldn't be. I can't think of any other difference that they could do. Like The Walking Dead, yeah, it didn't have the same characters from the show, so maybe they're going to use characters from the show in them this time. I don't know, but when they do make it work, it's going to be amazing because TV shows are one of the nation's favorite mediums, and you don't get enough of it. When it's finished, you're like, oh, what's going on in the universe? Video games, well, especially MMOs and stuff like that, you can get as much of it as you want. You can just play forever. So to marry the two together would be brilliant if it worked.
But can it work though, Dan?
I don't. Not in the way I think people are maybe thinking that this is going to work. I see it as something like Telltale's current Game of Thrones series. So you're maybe going to get some of the same characters, you're going to get touches of the same story, but it's going to be more background is what the video games are going to deliver.
So how is that a super show?
Sorry?
How is that a super show?
Well, it's not. That's what I mean. Like, it's not a super show. It's just more stories in the same universe. It's not you need to play the video game before you watch next week's episode kind of thing.
So you see it as the video game is kind of effectively your side quests while the TV show is your main mission kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason the game couldn't have just as big storylines, but they wouldn't then be reflected in the TV show as much, if you see what I mean. They're not going to impact each other, these storylines, or cross over.
See, I'm of a very similar thinking, because no matter how many people will try and tell me that video games are mainstream and, the highest grossing entertainment medium, and this is where it's at, fuck film and fuck television and literature and everything else, because video games is the fastest growing blah blah blah. And it's like, yeah, kind of. I mean, Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto, but it's still, no matter what anyone will fucking try and say to me, it's like, I'm totally in agreement with you, Nails, that if there was this type of connection, it would be a case, I feel anyway, that the television show would certainly take precedence over the video game. Like, it would be a case of, like, your main storyline and whatnot would take place in the TV show, and that will carry on the next week on the TV show, and the game is just kind of maybe working with minor characters in the background. Like, they might be kind of going on concurrently, but at the same time, it's not going to have the same effect, because you have that barrier to entry, because everyone has a fucking television, but not everyone has a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One or a gaming PC or whatnot.
I think as many people have smartphones as have TVs, though, or maybe more. So
valid point, yeah. That it could be an iPad game or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, fair point.
And Telltale do release their games on every platform.
Like, Calv, you played Defiance.
I did, yes.
And you watched the TV show?
I watched season 1. I haven't watched season 2 or 3.
Like, how did that work?
It didn't. They promised a marriage between TV and video games, and I was playing the game, I was watching the show, nothing really ever.
Nothing interacted?
No. Just didn't work, didn't happen. I don't know why, if it was because of the actors' availability or what, but it was a big failure, and it was disappointing.
Because, I don't know, I think that there's possibly something there. Like, if you look at Quantum Break, which tries to, well, I don't think we've seen anything of that now in a bit, but that was the whole, that was one of Microsoft's, I suppose, one of their real big kind of games that they were kind of showcasing at the very beginning, when they were all kind of television focused, because this was the game. Remedy were doing it, a studio with a lot of pedigree, and also they were saying how it would be a case of, you play the game, then you might watch an episode of a TV show. Like, I suppose it's kind of different, because I'm not sure if when Quantum Break actually comes out, is the TV show on the disc, or do you maybe you watch it through Xbox Live?
Is that the one with Scott Bakula?
I think so, possibly. But it's like, I suppose it's kind of different, because if somebody has Quantum Break, they'll be able to watch the TV show. Like, the main selling point there as such is the actual game itself, rather than the TV show. The TV show is a kind of an add-on here. But when you look at Telltale marriage to Lionsgate, obviously the TV show will be like, if Mad Men, like they made Mad Men, that was on AMC, they made Orange is the New Black, that's on Netflix, so there probably will be, like, whatever this super show is, whatever the actual project that they're working on, when that ever comes to fruition, it will probably be released on a kind of a more traditional television format, rather than, watch the TV show on Xbox Live or PSN or something like that. I don't know. It's probably something that has legs, maybe. It's just, when you look through the annals of time, it doesn't seem to have worked just yet. And, like, I'm trying to think of even other examples. Is there anything else that comes to mind of examples of television and games trying to marry together for either of you?
I feel we're missing out one, but I can't think what it is.
Probably is, but yeah, we'll see. Like, I mean, Telltale I think we're all Telltale fans here. Like, they're they have shown that they can create really compelling stories within video games. And a lot of detractors will say that some of Telltale's games might work better as TV shows rather than games. So, I don't know. We'll see.
You were almost a Jill sandwich.
Metal Gear.
It's me, Mario.
No barrel roll.
Oh, this is space. I'm in space.
Hail to the king, baby.
It's time for a game of Guess Who. Now, this is the part of the show where I test the gaming knowledge of my fellow podders. Basically, I give 5 clues to the identity of a video game character, and you, Dan and Calvin, you must guess correctly. Now, when you think you have an answer, shout out your name and tell me what you're thinking. But be careful, lads, because you only have 3 guesses. To the victor go the spoils. Clue number 1.
Come on.
Come on, Calv. I'm sorry, Nails. I'm showing bias. I shouldn't. I apologize. Clue number 1. I made my first appearance in a video game a short time ago, only back in 2012. Clue number 2. I'm known for having a bit of a short fuse. Clue number 3. I've lost many loved ones along the way and shed a few tears.
I don't know. Journey?
No. Clue number 4. The first game I was in did quite well in terms of Gotti Awards.
Oh, Dan. Oh no, crap. Well, Joel from The Last of Us, but it's not.
No, it's not. Clue number 5. My son had a fucking stupid nickname. Something to do with a bird.
What the? Who the hell is this?
I think this is the first stalemate. Okay. I'm gonna whip through the clues again very quickly. I made my first appearance in a video game a short time ago, only back in 2012. Clue number 2. I'm known for having a bit of a short fuse. Clue number 3. I've lost many loved ones along the way and shed a few tears. Clue number 4. The first game I was in did quite well in terms of Gotti Awards, remembering that it was in 2012. Clue number 5. My son had a fucking stupid nickname, something to do with a bird, and I'll even add to it, a bird which lives in the water, mainly.
Oh,
what the hell's a Gotti
Award? You don't know what a Gotti Award is?
A game of the year, Cal.
Oh my
Jesus.
Gosh! Why are we saying acronyms as if they're words?
I don't know his name, but is it a guy from Walking Dead?
If it's 2012, it's going to be Mass Effect 3.
I've never played it, so I don't know the names. It's all I can think of. And it fits the clues, but I don't know the fucking names.
It's not on my card, Dan. I can't accept it. I'm going to have to pass it over to Calvin Robinson. This is it. This is the fucking one.
What?
Calv.
So it is someone from Walking Dead?
It possibly. You have 2 guesses left.
Okay. What the clues again?
Well, Dan, you can.
Did you say Kenny?
What?
Did someone say Kenny?
Is that? Are you guessing Kenny?
Okay, I'm guessing Kenny.
Yeah!
I got one! I actually got one. I feel like you let me have that.
I don't
Not at all.
bloody know.
Have you never played them, so Nails?
No.
So let's hear those clues again now that we know who it was.
Number 1 was I made my first appearance in a video game a short time ago, only back in 2012. The second one was I'm known for having a bit of a short fuse. The third one was I've lost many loved ones along the way and shed a few tears, which he did, his wife and his son. It's spoilers, whatever, I don't care. Clue number 4, the first game. Shit, I actually feel bad now because Dan hasn't played it. Anyway, clue number 4, the first game I was in did quite well in terms of Gotti Awards. So for future reference, Calv, that's Game of the Year.
Let's not call Game of the Year as Gottis for one.
Oh, we're calling them Gottis.
And I'm thinking short fuse. Okay, fire, fuse. And then I'm thinking what? Tears,
Temper, Calv.
water. What's going on? I'm thinking too deeply.
My clues aren't that cryptic, yeah. And the clue number 5 was my son had a fucking stupid nickname, something to do with a bird, and obviously his son was
Duck,
named.
yeah.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Well done, Calv. I'm delighted you've got on the board anyway.
What did I win?
Prestige.
Bragging rights. Yeah, prestige. And with that rounds off an episode of the God is a Geek podcast. And what a happy note to round off on. So I'm not actually sure what the current standings are in terms of Nails versus Calvin. Is it 3-1?
Nobody wants to know the exact
2-1, I
standings.
think. Not that I'm counting.
But yeah, thank you very much, dear listener, for listening to this episode. Of course, please do rate and review us on iTunes. We only accept 5 stars. And also be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. You can follow us all on Twitter as well. Calvin is at Calvin Robinson, Nails is at Max Shanks, and I am at Colm_Ahern. And of course, God is a Geek itself is also on Twitter at God is a Geek, Facebook.com/God is Geek, YouTube.com/God is a Geek, and GodIsAGeek.com for all of your news, reviews, podcasts, videos, everything, esports. Stubbsy got you covered there. So do set that as your homepage, and then you can just see our lovely work all of the time. So once again, thank you very much, and we'll be back next week, but first we must say goodbye. So Calvin, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Nails, say goodbye.
See you later.
And Colm, say goodbye. Slán go fóill.